Welcome back to this week's episode of IPT2. And in this week, we're going to be discussing about how to get your clients back. Now, this is actually the second time we've recorded this because the mic failed on the last recording. But it means that we've had a little bit of time to kind of look at what we said in the last podcast. And that means this could be a little bit more succinct this time. As you probably know, if you've listened to any of my other podcasts, I like to have a little bit of a ramble. So, without further ado, let's talk about this topic of getting your clients back. Now, this is obviously aimed at those who are already personal trainers, so please bear that in mind. But it won't be a topic that, if you're new to the business or looking forward to being a personal trainer, it will still be useful to you as well. So, first of all, let's look at why people leave the business in the first place. Now, there'll be the typical things like they've got their goal, so why should they keep training with you? That's for you to reset them. But typically, people leave the business or your business as a personal trainer because they've got other priorities. And now that we're in the summer months, we are looking at those priorities shifting towards people's children, towards spending time away from the gym and maybe doing other things, enjoying the weather, going abroad on holiday. There are so many different things that commonly happen that we call this the trough. We have peaks and troughs of the year, and this is us in one of the troughs. We're in the low point of the year. But the good thing is, we start to pick up in August and especially in September. So, this is why this podcast is quite an important one. We should really be looking at how do we get our clients back? Now, first of all, if I was a smart personal trainer, and don't get me wrong, I haven't always been a smart personal trainer, I would have kept in touch with my clients. I would have made sure that I am supporting them even if they're not paying me. And why do I do that? Because I can set a little bit of time aside to make sure that these people who were clients or have indicated they'll be back later in the year, or typically you would get clients who say they'll be back in a couple of weeks after the holiday and then you don't see them for 2 months. The reason being is you didn't keep in contact with them. You didn't maintain the relationship. You've not helped them in any such way. So why would they want to come back to you? That's the question. So put some time aside and do a newsletter for your clients. Maybe talk about the things that are in social media to do with nutrition, to do with exercise, the new scientific paper, break it down for them. Again, these can be typically turned around every week, or you can do them in a batch at the beginning of the month. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time from you. But if you're a personal trainer who's lost some of their clients during the summer or finds himself not as busy, utilize that time. Make sure that you're doing something for your clients. If your clients are going on holiday and they say they can't afford personal training, they'll see you in a couple of weeks or they won't be back for the month. Maybe support them with a generic program. Maybe support them with some generic nutrition advice. I say generic because if you have something that you've created that you can give clients, say a body weight workout that maybe they can take away on holiday with them, that's great. Do that. Because if you do that with the client, aren't they going to feel like they're supported? Aren't they going to feel like you've helped them? And aren't they going to feel like they want to come back and work with you? Now, if you've helped them with nutrition, again, generic nutrition advice and help might just be simply sending them a pack on how to enjoy food on holiday. And again, this is something you can send to multiple clients because a lot of the points you'll make will be helpful. Maybe your clients have children. Maybe you could give them a bunch of ideas of fitness things they can do outside of the gym with their children. Stuff that is supportive to the client's objectives and their priority change. How would you feel if you were supported in that manner? How would you feel if somebody really looked out for your priority shift? You'd feel pretty good. And if that was a service you were paying for, and they came out and or even just spoke to you, sent you a voice note every couple of weeks to see how you are, or every month or every week, wouldn't that be nice? And how long of your day does it take to do that? How long does it really take to have these sheets made up? It doesn't take too long. And that can really help drive your clients back to you. Now, sometimes your clients are going to be away and that's it, they're gone. But if you do those kind of things for them, initially at least, aren't they going to be your advocates? You might even want to ask them if they want to keep their time slot. And if they do, you could take a deposit. And if they can't manage a deposit, then at least you know that person, that time slot's kept for them. You could maybe have a time frame of them when I'm coming back. And then you can go and speak to them about it. You can say, look, there is no pressure here, but I might need to pass your slot on to another client. So I just want to ask if you want to keep that slot and when you'll be coming back. Especially if you haven't heard from a client in a few weeks or a month. That could be something that's really handy to do. And it's although it's a tactic and it is to try and get a reaction and find out information, if you are keeping in touch with your clients, then typically if you've got a good relationship already, they'll be telling you that information. They'll be saying, oh, I've had too many sangrias and too many paellas and I'll be back in the gym in 2 weeks. Can you book me in for a session? Or can I restart my sessions, please? Because I've been eating a little bit much. We also need to remember that with priority shifts, the client won't necessarily come back to us in a bad state. Because if they're active, say they have children and they're more active, or if the weather's better and they've been outdoors more, their NEAT is going to be much higher. And typically that's a big factor in keeping them in the state they're already in, i.e., maintenance level. So it isn't always going to be a case of starting from zero. It isn't always going to be a case that the priority shifts very quickly back towards the gym, because once somebody's summer is over with, they may have a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Their kids might go back to school, but they may feel that they are under pressure at work. They might be shifting jobs. There could be all sorts of different changes that you don't know about unless you've kept in touch. So I guess that's one of the most important things to do to ensure that your clients will come back to you. But other than that, you could ask, if those clients are not coming back, do they have anybody that they would recommend to you? Now, if you've been supportive, if you've given them the generic workout, the generic nutrition, or whatever else they needed, then possibility wise is they will have somebody to come and work with you, or they will have people to recommend. They might not, but by all means, they will still remain an advocate of you and your personal training business because of the level of above and beyond support that you've done. Now, that's all great in concept, but some of you out there might be saying, well, I don't want to work for free. Why am I doing all these things for a client that's not with me anymore? Well, this podcast's all about getting your client back after they've been away. So these things are what you have to do to maybe maintain relationships. And that's really what getting clients back is really about. Now, the generic side of it is because the client pays you for a bespoke service. They pay you for workouts that you make specifically for them. They pay you for nutrition that is specifically for them. They pay you for your advice and your knowledge that specifically helps them. So when we give away something that's generic and we give it away as a freebie, as something that's complimentary, I don't like the word free or freebie, as complimentary, then they can see the value in that. They may think that's great, especially if you've jazzed it up and put your logo on it and such and such. They might really think that's an amazing thing you've done for them, especially if you have gone that above and beyond and really maybe gave them the tools to work out their own calories or linked a calorie calculator to help them or gave them the MyFitnessPal book to use of how to work out things with it. Or even if it's just a case of how to do very basic exercises and links to some videos. If you've went that little bit above and beyond, your client will appreciate that and they will most likely come back to your service. But if you haven't, it's going to be really hard to get them back into your service. If you're just throwing out social media posts, it doesn't mean that just because they see it, they'll want to come back because the relationship will have broken down. You have to remember that clients pay you for a service. They are not always your friends. And although it may seem like you become more friendly with clients, which is great and does actually happen, they are still paying you at the end of the day. And that has to be really looked at because, especially in this day and age when personal training is seen as a luxury item and not everybody can afford luxury items, personal training a lot of the time will be the thing to go, especially if you're spending a lot of money on things during the school holidays or on a holiday itself or on doing things that, say you did your back garden up this summer because it's nice weather and you want to sit in your back garden. That money could have been pumped into personal training, but you've spent it on your back garden, so now you're not going back to your PT. But if we can keep these people in our loop, in our vicinity, in our community, then they will want to come back eventually. So during the summer, if you have let clients go away, I would say get back in contact as soon as possible, even just for a check-in. Ask them how their summers went. Don't talk about personal training. Don't talk about coming back to your services. Just be genuine and ask them how their summers went and that you look forward to seeing them back in the gym at some point. And if they need any help and support, they know where you are. And tell them you will update them in a couple of weeks with some support material. Maybe maybe a spreadsheet that you make up for the client so they can go and do a food diary, or maybe you come up with some sort of fun game they can do in the gym, or a challenge for everybody to get restarted that's free, uh, or complimentary, to get started back in the gym, get them eased back into the gym after the holidays. So really, that's for you to figure out what would you like to send your clients? What works for your clients? I've just given a couple of very basic things there, but those might be the things that work. And if you have been supportive with your clients already, that's great. I really commend you, because a lot of personal trainers forget about that aftercare. And it's not just texting the client to see how they feel after a workout, but it's really remembering specific things about them. Like maybe they were going to Spain for the holidays. How was Spain? Actually asking them and showing that you remember where they were going on holiday. Or if they had some things they were doing and you inquire about them, maybe they were doing the North Coast 500. You could ask all about that and again keep the relationships going. So really that's the crux of getting your clients to come back is relationship maintenance, relationship management. And if you don't have that in your business already, something to really take a step back and look at implementing. If you do a consultation and you don't ask questions like, are you thinking about going away this year? Do you have any holidays booked? You could have preempted all of this. You could have made sure that you already understood where your business was going to take a 2 week lull, or a month where your business isn't going to be as good, and then used it to help with doing marketing for the rest of the year, to help with getting yourself some time off if you're a busy personal trainer. Really understanding your business and getting the information from clients when you start working from them, their birthdays, their spouses, their support systems, significant events in their lives, and actually having that in a calendar where you actually get notified about it, where you remember all this stuff, because it's hard to remember absolutely everything for 20, 30, 40 people. Then you can really help your business flourish. And we wouldn't have to have this podcast really about how to get clients back into your business. And yes, there is going to be some personal trainers out there where this podcast is absolutely useless for you. You've done the right things and you will see and reap the rewards. But for those who haven't, really take on board what's just been said. Set up your systems early as a trainer. Get notifications a week before your client's birthday. Make sure you're giving out at least birthday cards. Make sure you're doing something for your client to tell them about their PBs, or if it's a birthday, get them, yeah, as I said, get them a card, get them a gift. If a person is pumping thousands of pounds into you over the course of a year, the least you can do is buy them a £5 present for their birthday. If a person is spending a lot of money on you, the least you can do is give them a generic program for free when they're not working with you. And the worst thing you can do is stop talking to your clients just because they're not training with you. I have made that mistake in my early career, and it was not good. Those people, very few of them returned. And it wasn't because of my ability as a trainer, It's because of the relationship breakdown. So I hope this discussion has been helpful for you. Again, this is the second time recording this, so there may be things that we talked about on the last version that I've cut out a little bit here. So if you do want to have a chat about the topic here, if you do want to talk about things that maybe you want to implement with your business and you'd like some advice, let us know. We'd love to have a chat about it. Either comment or get in touch with us at iptqualificationsoutlook.com, or drop us a contact through the website as well at ipt.com, iptqualifications.com. Now, as we've been saying for this month, we are on pre-sale as well. And if you know anybody who's looking to do their course, it'd be great if you could let them know. We only have 20 spaces available on our fast track course. It's over 12 weeks and it is really helpful to your start in the industry. It comes with the fitness business course, your programming, your nutrition, and social media mastery as well, so that you have the ability to get your business up and running from day one. Now, until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure. I hope this topic has been helpful to you. And until next week, please take care.